I have been waiting. Will you join me?
Hello, welcome back to Star Wars. My name is Phil, of course. I'm joined as usual by Robert and Matt for our weekly Mandalorian breakdown. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, pew 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 pew.
Or as this week's rerun should be called, Matt does a Star Wars episode because this
Pew
is.
pew. Last week was Dave Filoni playing with his toys. This week was me.
Yes, pretty much.
It'd be really cool if we give Boba Fett a gaffy stick. Oh, spoilers. It'd be really cool if we give him a gaffy stick. Pow! Yeah. My word.
Yeah, I mean, again, as usual, spoiler if you haven't seen the episode. Although, to be fair, if you haven't seen the episode, what are you doing watching a review of said episode?
if you're watching this before watching the episode, you're an idiot.
So good.
Unless you like spoilers for some mad reason.
Just
but yeah,
so good.
we know that we have an hour. We won't get through everything.
So much.
We never usually do anyway, but especially this week. For different reasons compared to Tuesday, where we were moaning like mad about the Lego Holiday Special. Yes, I enjoyed it, but I had a bunch to moan about as well. This week, this episode, no. This is just us raving, especially Matt. And well, mainly purely because, we'll get to the cut to the chase later.
Oh,
because it's a guy right here.
he knows what he's doing. Man, what? Right. I've been excited since they announced Robert Rodriguez was doing an episode of Mandalorian. And for it to be this one, it's just what a culmination, man. Like, Boba's back. It's a robot chicken.
Now, for the first time ever, I can't say Boba did nothing because, my God, did he do stuff? This is the Boba Fett we wanted.
And I think this is the one that we've always had through legends, such as the novels and the older comic books and stuff.
This is Boba Fett as his reputation is.
Well, this is how we had him in the
is
comics.
how Boba got his reputation.
This is how he was in like the Corellian trilogy or the Bounty Hunter trilogies and stuff like that. This is the Boba I've been reading about.
The newer Marvel runs as well. He's done stuff in that, hunting down Luke Skywalker and facing off against him. And this is a case of this is the Boba Fett that fans have had in their minds since the 80s.
I mean, what a cold-hearted go! He's not cold-hearted. This is the thing. So, I mean, skipping towards the end of the episode a bit, just that's probably a little bit out of sync. There was a point, and I've said it before on the show, that originally Boba in one of the novels, I think, went to help the New Republic, and they just kind of went, "Oh, you're a bad guy," and he's just like, "I'm not. The Empire just pays well," and we really see that in this episode as well, in that he is neutral. He's not like Vader's right-hand man.
He literally says he cares for nobody.
Yeah, which I really liked. And this episode really brought stuff out through Legends. So obviously the episode opened is what we were literally just discussing this before we go on there, with the most heartwarming Grogu.
Mando's just kind of happy that the kid has a name now, and Grogu's just happy to hear his own name.
And I like that he's
Grogu
hasn't heard
his own name since he was in the temple.
It's just the fact he's trying to help him use the Force. And they had that beautiful moment, which was the Dag Farrik, and Grogu went,
I wasn't going to go at you. I wasn't going to go at you.
You're not in trouble. You've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So the premise of the episode really is they go to the Jedi Temple that Ahsoka mentioned last week. There it is. Look at it from the sky. The lovely little line in that as well. Like, we're really seeing Din and Grogu bonding now, which is we're going to have to take the windows down, aren't we?
I can't land there. We're going to have to go the last bit with the windows down. Jet packing up there.
So much fun. Like, it was wicked. And then he sets Grogu on the Seeing Stone. And the episode is effectively like in any multiplayer computer game, Defend the Hill. It is Grogu goes into some weird Force coma. I think is the best way to say it. Is there a real thing for what he's doing? Is there any precedent for that?
I mean, he's meditating.
But with like the Force field, I've never seen it before like that. But
a literal Force field,
which is wicked. And then
what I love there is you actually see Grogu do the classic meditating hand pose with his hands like that.
So good.
I just love that.
And then there's a noise in the sky. And what is in the sky? Let's go back to episode 1 of this season where we were all saying Slave One has to be somewhere, right?
It's been parked up somewhere.
What a noise! The
To
moment
be
I heard
fair,
it.
after we see Boba in episode 1 of this season, as he's walking away, he's probably literally just walking to Slave One.
Yeah, probably. But yeah,
Oh yeah, as soon as
Slave
you get
One,
that
guys.
telltale biplane sound,
Mhm.
you know what's coming.
And then you just
So-
see it, and it's just like, that's Slave One.
And the cool thing
Okay.
being is Mando is just like, oh, we're gonna go see what's going on, turning around to force comatose Grogu, and it's just like, you wait here. He's gonna go somewhere.
First he's like, someone said we need to go. And
Yeah.
the force field just like knocks him back and like, yeah, you ain't getting that kid anytime
You
soon.
wait. And then we get a very chilled out Boba Fett. Just turn up to go.
I mean,
I've
you say chilled out. He does shoot at Mando straight away.
He does, but Mando's armed in Boba's.
That's Boba Fett's way of saying hello.
Yeah,
To be fair, I think it's his way of just saying, "Don't shoot me."
but it was the really cool kind of, I've tracked you across the galaxy. You have something that's mine, and he just wants his armor back, which is really cool. Like he's been on Mando's tail since Tatooine, just to kind of say, "I want
But
my armor."
why
back.
has he not tried to get it before? Because he literally mentioned Cobb Vanth. He's like,
It-
"It's the armor that you took off Cobb Vanth on Tatooine."
'Cause he can't go storm a town and kill everyone.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to. He literally just walks up to Mando and asks for his armor back.
Yeah, but
Why
Cobb
can
was
he
really
take it off?
reluctant to give it over, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like
To be
Cobb was
fair,
like,
I
"You're gonna have to take it off
think
me."
I think Boba might have like gone to do that, seen what Cobb was using it for, and maybe think, maybe now's not the best time to ask for my armor back.
The super cool thing is he's got Fennec with him, Ming-Na Wen, the first of a hat trick. She's the first actress to have been in a Disney property, a Marvel property, and a Star Wars property. Yeah, she voiced
Technically, anyone who has been in either Marvel or Star Wars has technically been in a Disney property.
Oh, but it's the
I know what
trifecta
you mean,
thing.
yeah.
She voiced Mulan. She was Agent May in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
She actually also has a cameo in the new Mulan as well.
Oh, did she really? Awesome. Good to see her back. We were kind of speculating during season 1 that the stirrup sound you heard to go and pick her up was Boba, and it turns out that's the way. That was the way.
Yeah.
And he just gave us cybernetic enhancements.
I don't think Boba did. I'm sure he went to someone in Mos Espa or somewhere and gave her. See, I want to know how much of it is cybernetic. Like, is it her entire torso is cybernetic or what? Because it basically looks like she now has a robot body with kind of like the reverse of Anakin. It's like everything else is robotic.
She's so good. But yeah, he basically turns around to Din and is Fennec's got a bead on the child. She's got a bead on Grogu, and he's just like, he'll be safe if you give us the armor. To which Din just basically says, you can't have it. You're not a Mandalorian, which really they delved into. They ruptured this, haven't they? Really, from this point, because it turns out Boba is. Django was a foundling. Ergo, Boba is technically a foundling, and arguing that Boba's not a Mandalorian would be arguing that Din Djarin's not a Mandalorian now. Which is cool. So they get in a little conversation, and
I like where Boba's put down the jetpack.
There's a little kind of, I'm just a simple man making my way in the galaxy.
When he said that, I was like, oh yes, you are your father's clone.
absolutely class. It's so
also,
good.
He accidentally quotes Luke as well, because he just says, "I'm a simple man trying to make my way in the galaxy, like my father before me." As soon as he said that, I was like, "You're paraphrasing your dad there, Boba. Good on you."
Oh, it was cool. And then, of course, the Empire turn up.
It was peak Star Wars.
in the precursor, the First Order transport was in the Force Awakens.
Yes, I was almost expecting First Order troopers to run out.
So was I, because as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the First Order transports, isn't it?
That's what I was expecting, because that would have been a really big twist. But oh well. And then at this point, we go into King of the Hill, and Boba Fett goes full action Jackson.
Boba Fett done good. Boba Fett was
really good. Boba Fett did great. Yeah, he's using the gaffy stick, he's shooting stuff. He's great.
He smashed the helmet into pieces.
But the thing I felt was more impressive was the gunfight choreography on Fennec.
Yes.
It was like something from John Wick.
he was pretty much 360 no scope in those falls.
Yeah, and she was, and there's this great bit. I don't know if we have it in the pictures where she leaps off backwards off the rocks. Do we have that?
We don't have that bit. But yeah, that bit was cool where she was running away, turns around. Like I said, a 360 no scope, just turns around, shoots them. And
that's the premise of that. This is the thing. That's done over there. Right, I was saying to Matt, and I think I said it before we came on air though, was one of my biggest problems from season 1 was they wasted Ming-Na Wen. She is an incredible actress. She's done a lot. She's a big Star Wars fan, and yet when they had her in season 1, I felt they completely and utterly wasted her in that. It was my least favorite episode of Mando so far. The Gunslinger. I've made no bones about it. I can't stand that episode with Heart Knight. And I felt they completely and utterly wasted her character. And yeah, of course, now we know it's Boba who rescues her, there's a shred of hope that she can come back. And I hope they would, because I want to see more with her, because I feel they completely and utterly wasted her. Her whole premise in the episode is she is one of the deadliest shooters in the galaxy. She is one of the most well-known and highly regarded assassins out there. This then proves the point. This is why she is known as what she is known as. Now, cast your minds back to last season. Episode 6 was the prisoner. That whole was the get in, break people out of jail. Crew slug. That was the kind of the horror-ish one from last season. This isn't a horror-ish one, but directed by one of the most prolific and one of my most one of the greatest directors out there, Robert Rodriguez. The way he goes about doing leading us to Fennec is the choreographies. He has such a great respect for martial weaponry, gunfights, and the rest of it. He takes his time and he knows how it should be done, to the point that this episode, I forget sometimes they're using the volume, I forget what they're doing, how they're filming it, because it feels very real and very involved.
I generally thought that they actually went out.
This looks probably more location-wise when you got shots down the hill. I think this is definitely has got some location to it. And I'm going to lead into it because I've got a comment I'm going to check in a second. But Matt, Scarif, I want to get you to bring your point into this, because again, this is Robert Rodriguez's way of looking at it.
So I felt my initial takeaway from this episode, Mando's rule and Jedi's drool.
That's my friend Matt. Cast your mind back to Nationals 2015. That's the Mando we met with. When you got your photo with your tap.
No way! Oh, that's really exciting!
I got it around a bit there because I was talking to a friend about that at tournament.
Oh, that's so good! Oh, dude, thank you. Like years ago, I had a picture taken with this guy in armor, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, your first your tattoo, which was
just my Boba Fett. Yeah, it's that one. Oh, that's wicked. That's so cool. Wow, that's awesome. Special guest Phil brought in for this episode. It's like, this is your life.
You have an actual Mando with us.
Yeah, we've got a Boba Fett episode, and now we've got an actual Mando you met a few years ago. Oh my god! I felt like the episode was very reminiscent of Rogue One. I felt the lighting and the scenery was Robinson Jeddah. I agree with that, and Scarif. And I felt like it's got the vibe of Rogue One, especially. Not that the stormtroopers were very clean, but you know, in Scarif, how they just look like super white and clean. I felt it was very similar to that. We got to see more of like the Empire infrastructure with their sergeants and designated yellow artillery teams.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, I feel like from like last week was very murky, and it was, as I said, it was very sepia tone and everything. And this week is super clean, and this week looks like Rogue One. But interestingly, as we said in the pre-show, that if you had told me that Robert Rodriguez directed last week's episode, I would have been like, oh, that makes sense with the lighting and the atmosphere because of like, the trees and knowing what he does. But yeah, I felt it was a really cool, probably not purposeful link to like Rogue One and the Scarif especially. It was just the bright sky and the bright sunlight and the very clean terrain. I really liked, but yeah, definitely the ground color, everything looked like Jeddah.
Yeah,
and also Jeddah's a whole Jedi planet as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you take the aesthetics of last week's episode, the fog and the murkiness, that and you said Robert Rodriguez and Drexler, I wouldn't have been surprised. I mean, don't get me wrong, it makes sense to Filoni with the references and everything he put into the show. But lighting wise, aesthetic wise, it doesn't surprise me with this particular week's. We can go back to what you're saying about the Empire looking super clean. Is we've up until this point we've only really seen the Empire remnants on Navarro. We've seen a few bits here and there. They're not this super clean, super trimmed out Empire that we're used to seeing. If you look at anything from the original trilogy era, Rogue One included, these troopers look clean. These look fresh. These look like they well maintained, well suited. And of course, when you then again jump into the end of the episode, when you get to Gideon's light cruiser, it's proper Empire. It is proper.
Yeah, it is, and I think
even says the Empire's back.
This isn't some kind of spice dream. I liked. I think, as I said, the break I liked was like last week felt like an episode of Clone Wars. And this feels like we're back into an episode of The Mandalorian again. I really enjoyed it. Like, oh my God. So they all go storm the hill and they defeat the first wave, don't they? Then the second cruiser comes. There's more of them. But at what point is the Razor Crest blown up by now? Have we lost the new Millennium Falcon already?
That's when they leave.
That's Gideon, isn't it?
That's Gideon.
We've lost the new Millennium Falcon, which sucks. But again,
that is the tragedy of the title.
Yeah, it probably is. But this cool moment, man. Like, my mind's running away.
When that title came up and I saw chapter 14, the tragedy, I was like, oh, God. I was just filled with such dread.
I keep thinking about this, but there's this super cool moment that before that happens, Boba is carving his way through troopers with a gaffy stick, like an absolute melee boss, which we've never seen him do before. And he gets his way to the Razor Crest, and he goes, my armor's in there. And he steps out, armored up. I've probably skipped ahead, scenes. We do have Slave One, and we're going to get like the Mando party. This is going to get into my point of the next episode is going to be the Expendables, and I'm so excited for this. But Boba steps out in his armor, and at that point, it was just goosebumps. I was like, my God, he's going to do it.
We don't see him step out. When we first see Boba is after Fennec has done that awesome bit where she just kicks down the boulder.
Yeah. Oh my God! Yeah. Which
and
absolute Indiana Jones.
At it, and then it just blows up. And it's like
that whole the troopers running
Star
from
Wars
the boulder.
Indiana Jones.
It's Raiders from the Lost Ark. It has to be a Raiders from the Lost Ark reference.
Yeah. As soon as, to be fair, when they were shooting at her, and I saw that boulder move, I was like, he's gonna crush him over with the boulder. And then
the way they ran,
I was like, if one of them had a whip and a fedora, it would look weird on a stormtrooper, but it would have just looked great.
Yeah, Dave Filoni running away. He's halfway there.
True. Yeah, and then they're all shooting at him. They're all you see Fennec and Bob and Amanda just like together and it's like surrounded. And you can hear like a jetpack, and then you see the little bomb go off, blows them up, and then Boba just lands behind them.
Can we take a second? Can we take a second to talk about knee missiles?
Oh, yeah, we were saying this. Where's he getting these replacement rockets from?
No. The knee missiles. Before we get to the knee missiles.
Oh, the knee missiles!
Which has been in like every visual dictionary and everything since Boba Fett was invented. Never seen them, and we finally get to see them on screen.
Again, this goes back to what you said, Robin. We get to see Boba Fett fulfilling what people like me have always known he can do.
Yeah, this is Boba Fett as he should be.
This is Mr. No Disintegrations. Yeah. Oh yeah, the knee missiles.
This is Mr. Looking cool, also being cool.
This is the thing. If Boba Fett had done this in the original trilogy, I would totally understand why people loved him.
Oh, absolutely.
Now we have this. Like, yep, Boba Fett is badass. Done.
Yeah, it's like argument. This is Boba Fett. This is
Boba Fett in my mind is no longer underrated. Boba Fett is now
so good.
Just
good.
The argument's over.
But yeah, he just that bit where I think you just had the picture up where the troopers coming like that one where he just shoots like that. I was like, yes, mate.
It's so good. He knows.
To be fair, during that whole bit, I was just thinking Bob was actually doing something. He's cool. Matt is going to love this.
I mean, in our group chat when I was watching the episode, I sent the GIF of Kermit going, ah!
Yeah, and I was like,
oh, have you watched it? I was like, no, I just saw Slave One.
And I was like, oh, so he hasn't got to Boba being awesome then.
No, I've already lost it.
Until he has seen that.
Just seen Slave One.
Well, it's why when Robin texts me, because he put this up saying, right, just started it, he texts me a few minutes later going, like, what was it? You asked me something, it's like, what did you think of the episode? I went, have you finished it? Like, I'm not going to say a damn thing because you just started it. Like,
And then I was just like, Bob has actually done something.
yeah, I had to wait until I knew because I was not going to. There are things in Star Wars and things in life where you go, there's certain people you go, I can't spoil this for that. I cannot say it because this person is this attached to this character. This is one of those ones, as soon as I finished watching it, because I watched it before the pair of them. And I was like,
actually, I think we watched it roughly the same time. No, I actually started watching it before you, I think.
no, because I said I seen it, and then you just started watching it. But not the
Doesn't
point.
really matter.
Okay.
Doesn't
I knew
matter.
for a second Matt was going to just love this episode from.
I did
Yeah,
love
when
this
Bob
episode.
just started, when he appeared in his arm, was just taking off, I was like, Matt's, actually, no, before that with Bob, it was just thinking with a gaff script, Matt's going to love this.
Thing is, I mean, it was an episode around gunslingers and the fight choreography. Now, this is what gives me hope. I mean, there's a slight, not so much a detour, but Falcon and Winter Soldier comes up next year on Disney Plus. Really excited for it. But the fight choreography for that is being done by the fight coordinator for John Wick. And I wouldn't be surprised if he did this episode because the gun choreography was very smart. And he's already signed on with Disney Plus, so I didn't really look into it too much. But yeah, the fight choreography was
Like the bit where Bob
fantastic.
just like punches the stormtrooper in the gut and just fires a rocket into him.
I mean, the thing that they've done is really, really smart. Is that the whole episode really is just a brawl. I know we said there's loads to talk about and there's a lot to talk about, but really, at its heart, it's stop them getting to the top of the hill. It's a brawl.
It's protect the payload.
It's a bar brawl, man. That's all this episode really is. You've got three very distinctively. I mean, okay, Mando needs to learn that he can't get through a force field because he tried it multiple times.
Yeah, he gets on his hands and knees to try and get through it. Gets fired back, knocked out for like 2 minutes. Immediately gets back up. He's like, "No, we got to go, kid." Immediately does it again. I'm fairly sure they even reused the same shot. He just does the same thing again, and then he's just like, "I give up. I'll come back for you while I go sort these out." And the minute he turns his back, the force field comes down. It's like,
passes out.
if only he'd waited a minute.
But then what's Gideon got up his sleeve, Phil?
I was looking at the stunt coordinator because it isn't the same guy. There's a guy
Is it
called-
not? Oh, God.
No, it's a guy called Ryan Watson. He did the stunt coordinator for Wonder Woman, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice,
Does not surprise me.
and 300. He did 300.
Does not surprise me. Yeah, okay. It's very, very good fight choreography.
He did 300. No one got kicked off the side or something.
Yes, they did.
No,
I'm sure they
they
did.
got crushed by boulders. No one actually kicked someone off a cliff.
I would love it. This is
This
Boba.
tied on.
Um,
It probably would have been Boba finding out he has a rocket under his foot. Just kicks someone and just fires a rocket, fires them miles away. Like
But then, of course, Gideon deploys his secret weapon from last week to go retrieve the child on the top of the mountain.
Have the Dark Troopers been engaged? It's like,
Mm.
cool. Send them in.
I've got to admit, I wasn't overly excited by the Dark Troopers. As we've discussed, I do think they look like the Sentinels from X-Men Days of Future Past, mixed with a bit of Stark Tech.
I mean,
But
to
not
be
like
fair,
the
when
liquid
I watched
Sentinels.
when I
the
watched them
transport.
flying, I was like, did Favreau have something to do with this? Because they are very Iron Man.
Yeah,
I
with
mean,
that position.
yeah, most likely.
But the design of them, it is very much, again, going back to you saying about this being very Rogue One-y, is they are basically what would happen if you combined a K2 security droid with a Death Trooper.
Yeah, which is also
You get the Dark Troopers.
Yeah, as we were talking about from a couple of episodes prior, when you saw them initially, was they are, and now you get them named as well. They are exactly the same as the ones from the Jedi Outcast games.
They're not.
Are
quite
they
the
exactly
same.
the same? They're not an upgrade. or anything.
They are slightly different.
Well,
The
okay,
ones
yeah,
from the ones from Dark Forces, you actually see in Rebels because Thrawn is fighting with them in Rebels.
yeah. So these are,
And this is
updated.
kind of like a sleeker design.
Yeah, okay. These are updated, but in essence, they are that.
Yeah.
In name and also in a very specific style with the red eyes, the actual way the shoulders are built, the way the actual the overall aesthetic is very reminiscent of those Dark Troopers. I'm not saying they're updated for the modern aesthetics, but still they are.
I wish they'd done more.
I think we'll see
Okay.
more. Like, I think we'll see more in the future. They've only just been introduced. I think this is a case of, you've defeated Wave 1, you've defeated Wave 2. You can't get past Wave 3. Next
Like,
week.
the objective's lost.
Yeah, it was very much. original Battlefront 2. we've lost the command post.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And of course, Razor Crest gets nuked.
Yeah, so let's talk about this.
Tragedy.
I mean, the one thing problem I have, and we have spoken about this, Matt, you mentioned it earlier, I want to bring it up now, is where the hell did he get the new rocket from? Because Cobb Vanth fired the rocket.
Yeah, I know. There's a stash of them somewhere.
Because Cobb Vanth fired 2 of them. One at when he actually saved the village, and then one against the Crate Dragon.
Yeah. To be fair, there was a big time jump between his 2 uses, but I think Boba Fett. I reckon
Mando's had to have gotten one somewhere.
I reckon he has spares in Slave 1. So he went and got his armor, popped off to Slave 1, reloaded because he saw there's no missile in this. It's useless without the missile. Popped the missile in. That's when he then landed and started to wreck fools up.
Because I want to see him use the actual full extent of his gear. I mean, okay, we've seen him use the rope before. We've obviously seen him use the flamethrower.
To be fair, this episode was him using a lot of the stuff we know about, but have never seen him use before. Because we've never seen him actually fire the jetpack before. Never seen him fire the rocket. So this is
I kind of wish...
You know all the stuff that all the visual dictionaries say you can do? Here, have them. You can do them on screen now.
I kind of wish Cobb Vanth hadn't fired the rocket. And the first time we seen it happen was actually Boba. That would have been really cool.
Yeah, it's that shot that is Boba Fett as everyone has always thought he should be. And this is basically the legend becoming complete because he looks bloody awesome there, and he's just taken out 2 bloody troop transports.
I think. Oh no, there was that great line, isn't it? It was like great shot. I was aiming for the other one.
To be fair, yeah, you see it in his viewfinder. He was going for the bottom one, and when he said that, I was like, when you see that, I actually said to myself, I would have gone for the top one because then that one would have careened into the other. But that's happening. And because Amando just turns to him and says, "Nice shot." I was aiming for the other one.
But yeah, well, I mean, they're picking through the ruins of the Razor Crest. The Beskar spear survived. I thought he was going to give that to Boba, actually, as well. There was a moment that
Mando has to fight Gideon for Grogu.
Yeah, that's true. But he keeps the little spherical...
the little ball survives. Yeah. Naturally.
Now, is this the point with the coding, where Boba brings up the coding on his wrist?
Yes. Yeah, just after that, yeah, because
I've got this saved. Someone's translated that already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it pretty much. I think it pretty much just says what Boba actually says out loud.
Yeah. Well, it says foundling took into, and it cuts off. The year the Concord Dawn, mentor Jast, Father Fett, Boba Fett. So it's got a mention of Concord Dawn in there, which is kind of cool.
And I think the Jast might be Jasta Mariel, who I think was...
Could be.
I think he was Boba Fett, Django's mentor, I think, in the old EU.
Because that's it, Django fought in the Mandalorian Civil Wars.
Yes, which I think in reference to the old EU comic open seasons, which basically gives Django's backstory.
It completely legitimizes Boba Fett as a Mandalorian.
And
which is really important.
It also means that Prime Minister Almac didn't like Django Fett. Which, to be fair, considering Almac was kind of like a pacifist at the time, and Django was kind of death watchy, but I mean, he was a bounty hunter and was like very much into violence and not pacifist. He was like, he doesn't count as a Mandalorian because Death Watch don't.
Well, I mean, I think it was in Legends in EU. It was actually hinted on that Django had stolen the armor. But we also get clarification that it is the same suit of armor as well.
Yeah, because I think in Legends, or I don't think it was in canon, that it wasn't actually Beskar armor, it's Durasteel.
Yeah.
And that he'd stolen the armor from someone.
Which I still don't know if it is Durasteel or not.
So we'll stop him by just for a little bit. But he was also confirmed that, Justin Marie.
Yes, that's the one. So it looks like that's a reference to that.
So, I mean, it instantly puts the Fett dynasty into Mandalorian culture in a really good way.
It kind of makes like Django and Boba very much like Mando, because Django was a foundling, much like Din Djarin was.
What it does, though, it stops the age-old argument of is he or isn't he. It's you can now not argue this fact. Boba is a Mandalorian, Django is a Mandalorian. Done. Just because Lucas said he didn't want him to be doesn't mean anything now. Canonized.
It is the thing, and I mean, you get this super cool scene of Slave One trailing after that Empire cruiser, Gideon's cruiser as well, which I thought was
he's going after the Dark Troopers, and he says, "I've got him. I'm going to."
He was going to blow up Grogu.
Yeah, and then
I've been waiting just to use this image just because I want to see Matt's face.
I mean,
what image? I can't see the image.
It's on the screen now.
Robbie, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh,
yeah,
I can't see
it.
it.
Slave One, piloting Slave One.
Oh, I can't see it. Either way, man, it's super cool. I genuinely, I can't see the image.
Yeah, he's got I've got the targets. I'm taking them out, and then Mando just says, "No, don't hurt the kid." And Fennec's don't hurt the kid. He's like, "Okay, I'll just put soft."
It's a nice.
And he sees the Arquitins cruiser. He's like, "Oh."
The shot is a nice callback to Empire as well.
Yes.
When you see him trailing Han. That's it. Yeah, he'll follow them loosely. And it's the Empire. It's the Empire. No, it isn't. They were destroyed. This isn't a spy stream.
Which actually is a bit of a weird thing for Fennec to say, considering she just took out waves and waves of stormtroopers.
It's more the actual cruiser is what he's referencing, not the fact that there's Empire or stormtroopers. There's a cruiser. Now, it's a light cruiser. Don't get me wrong. This is not a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, it's not Star Destroyer. It's an Aquitens.
Yeah, it's a Star Destroyer, just really far away.
It actually
it has the two prongs in it. It's actually from the.
It casts my mind to Rebels, which is where they have the Iron Squadron. I was like, we're taking our Star Destroyer. No, that's just a freighter. No, that's just a cruiser. Then there's a Star Destroyer. No, that's a Star Destroyer. Oh,
we need to get out of here because we cannot take that.
It's not like cruiser, but it's still a cruiser, and it's still we thought all the Empire were gone. This was not that.
Yeah, but I think it's because Fennec then says, "But the Outer Rim's patrolled by the New Republic."
Yeah, brings that up,
but that goes back to episode 4, where I can't remember his name, says to Cara we can't really patrol everywhere.
It's a great time to be a Boba Fett fan.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, to be fair, now is a great time to be a Boba Fett fan because you lot can finally say, "See, I told you."
It's a great time to be a fan of Boba Fett.
Yeah, Fett with the gaffy stick.
The gaffy stick, yeah.
Love it. So then, of course, Fett returns, and Din is like, "I've got to get after him. I don't know how." And Fett basically, to paraphrase, like, "We'll help you." It's like the deal was
our deal's done. It's like kid's still in danger until he's safe. You can't get him.
So this is it. Like this is I dead honestly.
Right.
We'll go on record as saying this. My favorite movie trilogy in the world is the Expendables trilogy. It really genuinely is my favorite. I'm on a Star Wars podcast saying this. The Expendables trilogy is my favorite movie trilogy. And now Din Djarin's getting more of a ragtag band. He's got him, Boba, and Fennec at this point. And it's like, well, this is exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we are jumping ahead a little bit, right to the ending.
No, because this is on the planet that Boba's like this, and it's just the three of them.
Yeah, it's when they're on Tarthon and saying, the kid's still in danger, we're still with you.
Yeah, it's just like the deal was to see the child's safety.
I do have to say, Boba Fett does look like he's been eating more.
It's age, man. It's just middle-aged spread.
No, it's just weird seeing Boba Fett with kind of a bit of a paunch. But... Well, to be fair, he has literally just tucked his armor over his Tatooine robes as well. So.
It also helps solidify the timeline when he says, I've had this arm for 25 years. Helping people
he said the coach has been in this armor for 25 years.
Yeah, helping those who may not know the exact timeline for Star Wars just to give them a little bridge between Episode 2 and where we are now, because not
it'll be more than 25 years at that point.
Yeah, but it's not everyone knows the timeline that in depth, so this kind of helps people it gives people a little better idea. Which
we know he had it in A New Hope.
Yeah,
and then I've had this army's 25 years, but yeah, I mean, where does it go next? Is it on the cruiser next?
Yes.
No. It goes back to that picture you just put up of Slave One going to Navarro.
For a real fanboy, I think so. I'd like it to, because for something that's going to parody Westerns, which Star Wars always had, and my initial comment to the guys in our Facebook chat was, we're going to get the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, I'd love
pointed out,
Cobb.
also, as we've been pointing out, this season is kind of mirroring season 1.
Yeah.
And so now, considering what Mando says towards the end of this episode, the next episode is very much going to be he's getting the band back together.
So this is it. Like, he goes to see Cara June, and we find out what the medal's for.
Annoyingly, now this is something I have a problem with Disney Plus, because like the little thumbnail for it was literally Cara with a few up on a desk. I was like, okay, because I initially thought, oh, he's going to go back to Navarro and not get in Tython, and that was literally the end of the episode. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I did notice that. I was like, was Cara going to come in?
Yeah,
because I thought that first Empire lander that dropped was going to be Cara going, Gideon's on the way. That's what I was expecting.
She now is part of the New Republic, a Marshal for the New Republic.
Actual Marshal. So good. Which is like, my feelings towards the Empire, but I've now got rules to follow. And it was it. They got the kid. Son of a bitch, I'm in.
This is to say, actually, my mate Phil GC said this because he is a massive fan of. Oh, Matt, you'd get on with Phil. I mean, Robin,
I know Phil.
Yeah,
I know Phil. Yeah.
So this is the thing. He loved the episode, but as soon as it was over, it was like, I did not like the ending purely because it was a case of you walk in, I've got rules now. It should have been immediately. Evil man took my baby. Done. Like, okay, yeah, I'm in.
To be fair, it was a bit Batman versus Superman, where you could have just said, "This is like they've got my mum. Help me."
Grogu. No, I liked it because the reason I liked it was we spent a long time in 2 episodes ago going, what was the medal for? Nobody knows. And it was just a really quick way.
It's basically her sheriff's badge.
Yeah, it was a really quick way for her to go, I've been deputized.
Yeah.
And it just explained it.
Yeah, I need your help finding someone. And then just goes through all the different people on there. Which I actually managed to find screenshots for every single person. I can't remember them all.
Had she not said, how the Empire got rules to follow now, we'd still be wondering what that medal was for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she literally says, these stripes mean I have rules now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't hate that because it was just answering a question from a couple of weeks ago. So I'm fine with it. But this is the really cool thing when they're going through the rogues gallery.
But what's also funny, because like I said, I managed to find, because I was curious, I found pictures of all of them. There's a Tusken Raider in there. There's 2 Aqualish. There's a Quarren. There's a Mon Calamari.
There's the weird robot Jawa thing.
Yeah, the one from episode 2. There's another one of them. There's that dude. Yeah, there's. I am wondering the weird Gamorrean with very human eyes and extra horns.
Yeah, the Gamorrean that looks like it looks like a guy wearing a mask.
He looks like a mob boss. He's like Star Wars. Like,
I know.
Al Pacino.
Like, I can't remember what it was because the thing I looked on actually translated them, like had their names, and a couple of them like what they were doing. One of them is like in prison now for 90 years, I think, for like assaulting a New Republic officer or something. But I'm wondering if, like we did last season when we saw Mayfield in that prison ship, I wonder if like they're just going to go past all the doors and all these people we saw on the screen, we're just going to see them behind bars.
I'm really excited for Bill Burr's
character.
Then
when Mando said, "Yeah, I need to find this dude," and he's like, "Oh, it's Mayfield."
Yes.
With his shoulder guns and stuff. He was
also,
cool.
It's because he's an ex-Imperial.
He knows
so he'll be able to help Mando track down Gideon.
Well, this is it. Like, we're going to get this ragtag band. And like, when I said Magnificent Seven, Robin, you actually went and listed the 7.
Yeah, exactly right. So we've got these 3, Cara 4, Mayfield 5, and then I definitely said Cobb and Ahsoka.
Or Bo-Katan.
Or Bo-Katan, yeah. Or it could be the Magnificent 8 and we get Bo and...
I think Bo more than Ahsoka because
Bo's after Gideon, isn't she?
Yeah, Bo's after Gideon.
Yeah, she's after the dark side.
So they'll probably, and then we'll get Boba, Din Djarin, and Bo-Katan, and like triple Mandalorian gunslinger action, and Fred.
Phil,
yes. Get this man a shield.
I'm properly looking forward to it. It's gonna be good.
Although to be fair, what I can imagine, because obviously last time we saw Bo-Katan, she had a Gazanti, and she was going to try and liberate Mandalore. I reckon
get this man a shield.
I reckon we're just going to have a Gazanti pop in, Gideon maybe thinking it's his backup, and then we just see a couple of Gauntlet fighters come out.
Oh,
Because it's
almost
just
like
full
in
of
Lord of the Rings, The
Mandalorians.
Two Towers. We need Bo-Katan just to say, like, at dawn on the 5th day, look to east.
Yes.
Look for my coming
yeah,
at dawn on the
basically,
5th
like,
day.
yeah, the Arquitans just like moves out. You see the sun shining. All of a sudden, there's a Gazanti behind it. It just drops its Gauntlet fighters, and it's a Gazanti full of Mandalorians. And this is where we get Sabine.
Is Fen Rao dead?
Yeah,
Can we have Fen Rao?
We could have
yeah. Why not?
We could have Fen Rao. He'd be cool. He's a good
Oh,
player.
give me more Fenral. I love
Yeah,
him.
Rao.
we could have Fen Rao. We could have Sabine. We can have just like I said, a Gazanti full of Mandalorians. And
And this is what I mean. We're going to get the Star Wars Expendables. We're going to get a ragtag group of people who all come from different places and don't really know each other. And like where the Expendables have got like Sylvester Stallone's big like B-52, they're going to have Slave One.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be great. Like,
I mean,
it's
they're
gonna
gonna. They're gonna have to get another ship. A, because Mando needs a new ship, and B, they might need more space than what's on Slave One to transport everyone.
But we're getting away from ourselves a little bit because of that. I want to talk about the scenes on the cruiser. I want to talk about
Yes.
be
No, we get
great.
because that's the end of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when that door opened, like when you're walking down, and you hear like, what? I genuinely, honestly, when I heard the exertion sounds, I genuinely thought for a moment he was going to walk into a door and we were going to see Thrawn fighting with some Dark Troopers. But it was just Grogu just throwing stormtroopers around like they were potatoes.
No, I thought it would be more similar to season 1 where you walk into stormtroopers punching the child.
No, I because of obviously Thrawn being mentioned last week.
Yeah.
I was generally thinking it was going to be Thrawn
No,
fighting.
they would-
I think Thrawn is a lead for a pilot for the Ahsoka series.
I do too, but I
they're
thought
getting a
maybe.
Boba series as well. Is that right?
These are
there is
rumors,
rumors
yes,
about that, yeah.
but looking more confirmed than
Yeah, and then when we just saw Grogu just throwing stormtroopers out, like that's my boy, just throwing them around like the ragdolls.
Someone needs to CG in like a DJ deck to that.
Someone's probably already done it.
Yeah, like
And then
Grogu.
he's choking one out, and then the other one tries to attack him, just goes like that, throws them together.
Mm.
When he throws one against the wall, he basically just folds in on himself.
I was
Yeah.
brutal.
And
That
then
kid
Gideon walks
has
up,
some
and they're
anger
just
issues.
walking around, going, "It's very similar." What they're thinking, I think, is what those two people were thinking in the Aftermath book, where they're thinking about they just got beaten up by a B1. It's like just got beaten up by a kid.
I think
What I like
Wait.
though, is Gideon just going, no, let him. Let
Yeah,
the
because the guy's like, Zedron's son's like, no, just wait. Yeah.
that kid's got some anger issues, like which is super interesting.
I mean, to be fair, he has just been kidnapped and taken away from his dad.
oh yeah,
Stormtroopers, because we don't know what. I mean, to be fair, I reckon Gideon just sent those stormtroopers in, just like we need to like do something with the kid. Just like, basically gave him an excuse to go in there, just so the child could throw him around.
again talking about harkening back, it was very similar to A New Hope with Vader and Dr. Ball, but instead of Leia just passively sitting there, you've got
Grogu just throwing stormtroopers around like they're ragdolls.
the thing I felt was really like he collapses and Gideon's like, oh, I know you're sleepy, but then he ignites the Darksaber and Grogu
Do you know what this is?
tries to
In the
touch
old
it.
days. No, I think he was trying to use the Force to move it. But he
Oh,
was-
okay, because I was watching, be like, why are you trying to touch the blade,
I mean, to
dumbass?
be fair, the first time I watched it, I thought, why is Grogu trying to touch it? But then the
can't
second
put that
time,
in your
I was
mouth.
like, no, he's actually trying to use the Force
He
to get
knows
it.
what a lightsaber is.
Yeah. Because like, yeah, Grogu grew up in the Jedi Temple. He knows what a lightsaber is. I mean, he hasn't seen one quite like this, but he can recognize the similarities.
That's what Gideon was saying. It's like, have you seen one like this in times past?
Hmm.
It's like, no, not this one. You'll cut yourself with this. No.
And
Yeah.
then
No, you're not ready for this. You'll have someone's eye out.
he has tiny, tiny handcuffs, but surely that's not going to stop him using the Force.
Yeah, but if you've got tiny handcuffs, you put them on a tiny prisoner.
Yeah, but then that's not going to stop
No.
Force, is it? Which I felt was a bit.
Yeah, but to be fair,
This is why the Empire
he
failed.
puts him on it, and then he calls up Dr. Pershing. So they're probably literally just going to go take the child into like an isolation booth or something.
Yeah, he's being tracked
To
by
just
Boba
drag
Fett
him.
now, man.
Yeah, it's like a donor.
Yeah. So that might. I don't know if that'll get answered next week. I think next week we're looking at probably a Prison Break episode.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
Mando's literally like, yeah.
The funny irony for that for me being that next week's episode is directed by Rick Furuyama, who directed the Prisoner episode, which is episode 6 from last season.
Makes sense.
It's tracking itself, isn't it? It's just tracking itself.
Now it's 7 instead of 6, but still, it's close. It's close.
It's tracking itself. But
Yeah,
I think we're
reckon
going to get a
the majority
breakout.
of next week. Well, I reckon the beginning is going to be them breaking Mayfield out, and then like Mando having to go recruit the others.
That'll be so good.
I reckon we will be cutting back to Gideon like for little bits.
So,
Yeah,
So-
the majority of the episode
Do
is
you
just
think
basically
we'll
Mando
actually-
getting Vanguard together.
do we think we'll actually get him getting Grogu back this season? I don't think.
No.
we will.
No, I think we're going to establish season 3 with Din Djarin effectively being Nick Fury in Iron Man 1 and putting together a team of extraordinary people.
No, this was last week.
No, but I think next week we're going to get a few episodes now of this team coming together. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Grief Karga again. If we saw Apollo Creed come back to be like,
Unless the next episode starts on Navarro with like them like maybe just we see Boba just like he's been fixing his armor, he just walks out all shiny and new. And then like having to just get a little bit of like reconnaissance first, and him saying, I don't think Grief is going to leave Navarro now because he basically runs the place now. So I don't think Grief is going to leave.
we might get a conversation which almost harkens to Lethal Weapon, isn't it? Which is like, I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah, or like kind of Predator.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
he's
I
a
love
pencil
him.
pusher now.
He'll just be like, oh my god. Like, that's coming back to the Expendable stuff as well.
Exactly.
Honestly,
I
you got
reckon,
to
like,
push
Grief
your
will be like,
pencils.
I can't come with you, but like I can give you this stuff to maybe help you or something.
It'll be like the man in the door. They liberated all the weapons for the black market breakdown in that episode. So
they did. They blew them all up.
yeah, but he'll have some. He'll arm them.
Yeah, we blew up the place, but we still have all these guns.
Don't forget, Bo also needs a bunch.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be so
Like I
good.
said, yeah, she's got a Gazanti full of Mandalorians.
So basically,
Gauntlets and massive weaponry.
I don't think because we've got 3 episodes left, 2 episodes left. I don't think we're going to get Grogu back this season. Last year, I complained a lot that I had to go through Christmas not knowing if Baby Yoda was going to be safe. I don't think they're going to get Grogu back this year, but I think season 3 will kick off with Space Expendables, and I'm so just there for it.
What's the Space 18?
Both.
There's too many to be the A team, and they all get on planes. And they can hit things. They can kill people. The A team only ever blew up vehicles and scenery, and everyone was fine.
Yeah.
Or they are going to get Grogu, and like, I kind of don't want this, but I can kind of see it happening. Like they get Grogu, and then like the last scene of the season, like with Gideon chopping his way out of the TIE fighter with the Darksaber, is you just see the back of a guy with his arms behind his back. He just turns his head, you see some blue skin and a red eye.
Now, man, Luke's going to turn around and throw Grogu over his shoulder.
No, that was Ahsoka. I already sent you that meme. Or yeah, it could be that.
No.
Like yeah, they don't get Grogu, and like they've had to like go away to lick their wounds, and then all of a sudden, whatever Jedi Grogu talked to, if it is indeed a Jedi, it could be a dark side user for all we know. Yeah, they come in like maybe like you just see like a hooded figure. They throw back their hood and it's Luke, and he says, "I got a message." Or
No, thank you. No, thank you. Let that happen in Ahsoka's series. We went
as
off.
much as I would love to see Ezra, I don't think he should be in Mando.
No, I think
Don't ruin my Space Expendables with more Jedi than one.
From Luke's Jedi Academy.
I think
Like a hooded figure comes, they throw the hood back. It's I don't know, a Gamorrean or something. Oh, a Gamorrean Jedi. Maybe not Gamorrean, but it's just like something. A Gamorrean Jedi would be interesting, to be fair.
With a lightsaber.
They throw their hood back and they just say, "I've been sent by Master Skywalker to help you," or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's going to be that, or maybe a Thrawn reveal, or maybe some other
I-
Gideon's talking to someone who's higher up.
Thrawn needs to be in the Ahsoka series and only the Ahsoka series. And we're talking about Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau, who was towards the end of it, especially around Infinity War and Endgame, was a big influence on the MCU, who can, in parallel, run these series that interlink. Kevin Smith made a really good point on Fat Man Beyond when they did a rundown about the Ahsoka episode, saying that Rosario Dawson is a very, very good linchpin for series because she was in Daredevil and she was the connection between the Defenders.
Yeah, she was basically the Phil Coulson of the Defenders series.
Yeah, so we could be looking at Ahsoka being the connector. I don't want Thrawn in The Mandalorian. I want Thrawn to appear in Ahsoka, and then much like the CW do with Flash and Arrow, we get crossover episodes.
I mean, I do and I don't, because I mean, I love Thrawn. I want to see him on live action, but at the same time, yeah, I think like the as I call it, the Hunt for Ezra stuff, which was like Ahsoka, Thrawn, obviously Ezra, should be its own series. But yeah, like maybe like crossing over a bit. Like the Mandalorian could be its own thing, but like intersecting in through things.
Like on Crisis and Infinite Earths, or like when you get Flash turn up in episodes of The Arrow. Because I mean, the other thing that's interesting that came out this week, Dave Filoni said that there is a possibility this could have happened before the Rebels prelude. He's like, I'm not saying it did, and I'm not saying it didn't.
Yeah, he said it's possible. It's possible that the Ahsoka episode took place before we see Ahsoka with her hood and her staff. And she's just there to tell Sabine, I know where Thrawn is, we can go find Ezra now.
Which is super weird, because if anyone's going to know, it's him. So to leave it in that much, it's a possibility.
But to be fair, this is the same dude that when Ahsoka apparently died in Rebels, he then like turned up with a T-shirt saying, "I don't know if she's or not," and he's like, "You're the person who."
I think what I'm excited about with Space Expendables is a team being made up of people from across season 1 and season 2. And actually, like I've said before, I said this last week, and I definitely said it in the pre-show. Whereas last week felt like an episode of Clone Wars, this week feels like we're back on track with the Mandalorian. Just give me those characters we've had established, and let's end the season on characters we know and situations we know.
Possibly the only character we'll get in the Space Expendables that's not from Mandalorian is either Bo or Ahsoka.
But they've been established now, especially Bo. Bo's very much been established in it.
I mean, I'm definitely sure we're getting Bo. Bo and Carbob definitely coming back in the finale.
The way I think the season will end will be they fail to get back Grogu, and then they're introduced to a Jedi, not necessarily Luke, from Luke's account going, I've been sent by Master Skywalker to help you track down Grogu.
My name is Ben Solo.
He's like, no, he's 4 years old at this point. It can't be Ben Solo.
My name is Poe Dameron.
Again, he's a little bit older, but he's only like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
Also, what would Poe be doing there? Like, he's got nothing to do with Jedi Luke's Academy. But has Luke even created his academy?
They need a getaway driver. They need a getaway pilot. Yeah, no, Din Djarin is a better pilot than Fett.
I mean, yeah.
He just doesn't have a ship.
I would love to see Din just flying the Slave One, just for a bit.
Yeah, I think we could really see Slave One push to its limits. But I don't. This the whole point that I've been making about this now is fine. Introduce new characters. Bo-Katan was, for me, I can understand the way she was brought into the fold because she was after the bad guy, which we already knew. She was after Gideon. Well. Yeah, and Mandalorian and Gideon had already been established. Whereas Ahsoka after Thrawn. Lots of people have said it now. It's a backdoor. It is a backdoor pilot.
Yeah, as much as I love that episode, yeah, it did. We shoehorn this in here because we don't really know how else to do it.
Yeah, 100%. So I'd much rather bring Bo-Katan back because she's more. I'm okay with that because she's more connected to the story we're following.
I've had a thought. Hear me out. I don't want it to be true at the same time. So, just because you had Grogu connecting with someone through the Force doesn't necessarily mean they're alive. What if it's a Force ghost? Let's say Yoda or let's say Anakin.
Well, Liam Neeson.
Yes.
Oh, I want Qui-Gon in this now so much.
I'd like Qui-Gon to come back.
Imagine Qui-Gon just appearing to Din Djarin and that lot and just saying, I'm here to help. And then it's like,
I have a particular set of skills.
What? I'm here to help. I have a particular set of skills.
Now it's
I will hunt them down and I will kill them.
Maybe. I mean, if
Yeah,
you take into account the end of Rise of Skywalker, where it's everybody's voices, it was just like, Rey.
Although I have seen so many people want, rest in peace, Razor Crest.
Yeah.
It was becoming such a character in its own right as well. It
I
is.
know the poor girl has been through so much through this season, and then they just kill her. It's just like, for that, okay, there are two characters in this now that, for two reasons, really must die. One, the stormtrooper that shot Grogu, because as we all know, if you harm the child, you die.
Oh, the stun gun, yeah.
And Gideon for killing the Razor Crest.
I think we might see
also
Boba
the
Fett
person who
die.
pushed the button to fire the laser that killed the Razor Crest.
I think we might see Boba die. Boba will get the death he deserves, not the clumsy one. Din gets Slave 1, so he gets a new ship. And then Boba Fett's series can just concentrate on the gap between Jedi when he appears in Mandalorian. And that instantly gives Din Djarin a new ship.
To like bring back this character and then kill him off. Because like Star Wars has never done that before on film or anything.
I don't know if I want Din Djarin to have Slave 1. Slave 1's very much...
I mean, I kind of do, because it will be kind of cool, but at the same time, I think if Boba Fett is going to die, he's going to die in Slave 1. Slave 1 is going to get blown up with Boba in.
It's
Yeah.
the thing, I know, I get where you're coming from, Matt, but can you really see anyone but a Fett having Slave 1?
Hondo.
And Hondo's the Falcon.
Hondo also had Slave 1.
Oh my god, Hondo has the Falcon. That'd be amazing. No, I mean, I know it's iconic to be with Fett, but it's the fact that it's iconic and Din doesn't have a ship. You know, like I feel like that Beskar spear, I felt like in that episode he was going to give it to Boba.
No, because I reckon he's going to...
John.
I now just want a spin-off series of like a young Qui-Gon that's basically just Liam Neeson in Taken, but with Qui-Gon before he meets Obi-Wan.
That would be cool. I think I'm going to be interested to see where they take Grogu, because, you know, last week we got Ahsoka saying she didn't want to train him, and this week he's an angry person, which we know in the annals of the Jedi is not a good thing.
I mean, to be fair, he wasn't really angry. He was more protecting himself. So he had these stormtroopers basically just keeping him away.
But he's fearful, but he's going for it. Like, that isn't a subduing. That is. And what? Obi-Wan and Anakin ended up in that situation how many times?
Yeah.
Sith Lords are our speciality, and they never did that.
It's what really.
To be fair, also he is a kid.
Is that the deleted
these
scene
people
that
are
I
trying
love?
to attack him. He's just a kid, just like fighting back.
Oh, yes. That could work.
Although speaking of hand gestures, I did like it when Boba and Fennec were like, they were looking at the stormtroopers and he does the hand gestures as if to like say, go flank them. Much like the stormtrooper did, that then said, flank them, you idiot. Steps out immediately, gets shot. Get the hell. It was a great episode. It felt like we're back on track with the Mandalorian now, not Ahsoka Tano episode 0 featuring the Mandalorian. And it's nice to be back on track with the story, and it's now heading in a direction of like Expendables, Magnificent Seven, of this ragtag band of misfits going off. And all the great stories, Avengers, Lord of the Rings, all of these, it's all a ragtag group of people going off to fight great arena. In Mace Windu turning up.
I would love Mace
I've
Windu.
seen so many people think / hope to die in Windu, but he somehow survived and has been doing nothing for the past like 20 odd years.
It's nothing against the Empire.
Mace Windu has become a hermit on a desert planet, watching over some banthas. I don't know.
Let's just say, yeah. And he's been on Jakku this whole time.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down with it. But again, if you think Rogue One was a ragtag group of people, wasn't it? It was a ragtag group of people going off against the Empire. So it's a tried and tested trope, and a New Hope. It's a trope that we know.
It's literally a Star Wars thing to have ragtag. Also, the rebels themselves were known as a ragtag band of heroes.
We
It
just
is
got
very
to hope.
Star Warsy to have a ragtag band go up against the bad guy.
Now the problem is, you take the Hobbit. I'm rewatching all the Lord of the Rings stuff. You take the Hobbit stuff by Peter Jackson, and obviously he had a company of 14, and he was incapable of giving enough individual character to like Glory Noin, Biffa Bofa Bomber. It was only really Feely, Keely, and Thorin. But I feel like the way they've gone around doing it with the Mandalorian is with this massive space where we've been introduced to everyone slowly. It's all going to culminate. We're going to be familiar with all the characters in this group. I wouldn't be surprised if Bo-Katan with it, because her goals fit with what Din Djarin's kind of going towards as well.
Don't get wrong, I agree with Robin. As much as I adored last week's episode, it is the backdoor pilot. It really is. I'm okay with that, but in a way that's like, I just take it as I can't wait for that series, but you didn't need to do it in this.
Or it could have been done a little bit better.
And of course, the ending is exactly the same as it is in the Bo-Katan episode, which is just like, really.
Yeah, we're definitely getting Bo-Katan coming in to save the day, kind of like Mando did in episode 4 with the Razor Crest, except it's just going to be with the Gazantian Gauntlet fighters and a Gazanti full of Mandos.
It'll be really, really cool, and it will be cool, and it will fit, because then you've got 2 foundlings, an actual Mandalorian, like born and bred ones.
The Mandalorian as well, the leader of Mandalore in Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Now,
She will be.
We have to wrap things up. We do have a bit of a time crunch, as always, here on Star Wars. We have to be out by a certain point. And I feel we could go on about this episode for quite a while with losing our point. I think we've made actually quite a lot of concise points throughout this episode. Unlike the last previous episodes, let's just double check. Is there anything we've missed in this particular episode? I don't think there's a huge amount of points to cover. It's very much
I feel like the one thing I want to say is that, now Robin's still not seen it, so Phil, you're going to get this, is I feel like a lot of what Boba does in this episode mirrors the robot chicken Return of Boba Fett.
Oh God, yes.
He comes in, he messes everything up, fires a rocket. Obviously, he didn't have 2 lightsabers and Leia, but I was watching it and I was like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Which was just like was Robot Chicken kind of predicting this. So it was great.
Or maybe it's just Filoni was just rewatching, going, "Yeah, we need to do this. let's make Robot Chicken canon."
Yep. Indeed. And on that note, though, I think we've covered everything as concise as possible. It's basically, this is Star Wars does King of the Hill with some cool bits thrown in, and it's
not the cartoon King of the Hill.
Yeah.
It wasn't Fennec, Boba, Mando, and Grogu stood in front of a fence drinking.
No, this was basically a multiplayer match of Battlefront 2.
Yeah, it was.
But
it worked.
It was indeed. We will be back next week, of course, to talk about episode 7. Then following that, if you haven't seen our announcement on the Facebook and our social medias, in a week and a half's time, on Tuesday the 15th, we are going to be joined by hopefully both Dave.
In the comments, someone's just quoted Robot Chicken. Sorry, I got really excited. Red, blue, purple rain.
Yep.
He knows what we're talking about.
It's John. Of course it is. So if you haven't seen it, though, we will be having Dave and hopefully George as well come back to the show for a special Star Wars Christmas quiz. I'm going to be running Christmas quiz.
Wait, we are?
Christmas quiz.
This is news to me.
I am going to be like Alan Davies on QI.
Yes, you are.
Phil, you have to get the klaxon sound. If he's going to be Alan Davis, you have to have the klaxon sound just for him.
I don't know how I can work that in, but I'll try something. But yes,
I don't care. Now he's mentioned it, you have to get the QI klaxon.
There is going to be a quiz. I'm going to lose, and I'm woefully unprepared. So what you're going to see in the quiz is Phil hosting. He's that way.
Yep.
Robin, is it Dave and George? Say sorry.
Yeah.
Robin, Dave, and George having Clash of the Knowledge Titans, and me in the background eating a crayon.
Hey, I will have the Captain America moment for you.
I understood that reference.
Damn right, that's America's ass.
No, I get that reference. I will have that moment for you. But on that note, I can't wait for that to come out. We've got then following that, we'll then have the Mandalorian finale. We will then have a Christmas break. I haven't discussed it with the guys fully how we're going to manage that, but yeah, we will take time for our families over Christmas and join in the new year. But yes, 3 cool episodes coming up. Then we'll have a bunch of new things to announce in the new year. But until next time, keep your eyes on the social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at StarLords, at StarLordsPod, at StarLords2020. We've been StarLords. May the Force be with you. good night.
May the compensation be with you.
Come, my allies. Observe